Hi, you're welcome to another tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to prepare your character for rigging using Adobe Illustrator. Kindly like, kindly subscribe. Let's get on the tutorial. So here we are. I will be working with this character and let's prepare it for rigging. So when we prepare it for rigging using Adobe Illustrator, you can now move the character to After Effects and start rigging. Also, you can use Adobe Illustrator to prepare your character for rigging in Adobe Character. But this particular tutorial is for preparing it for rigging here in Adobe Illustrator, then take it to After Effects to start rigging. So you have to be, when you're picking a character, you have to consider what you want the character to do. So when you know what you want your character to do, it will guide you on picking the right character. Let's look at this character, for example. If you see, you can see the way this leg part is. This is showing me that this particular leg can be on a separate layer. The part facing you, like your right hand side, when you're working with character, is the left hand side of the character. So looking at this left leg of this character, I can actually separate this into two parts. But if you look at this other leg, which is the right leg, you can see I can separate it into two parts. So that means it's just one. So for this tutorial, I won't be separating this lower part. So that was why I mentioned earlier that you need to be sure of what you want the character to do. So that will guide you on choosing the right character that will help you achieve that. Okay, so now we can see that everything is on a layer. So now that everything is on a layer, if you bring this character to After Effects, you can't do so much with it. You can't rig it. You can just work on things like opacity, position, and you won't be able to do much with it. So that means if you want to really rig a character, depending on the parts you want to rig. Like for example, I said let's not touch these lower parts because this other part, this leg is not separated. So we'll just assume that we want to rig just the upper part and the lower part, we just leave it the way it is. That means you have to separate them, put this upper part in different layers. So now let's go ahead and create multiple layers. Okay, so now here we have the character. Let's start separating them. So we are not working with these lower parts. That means when we bring it to After Effects, it will just be on a layer. We are not planning to do anything with it. So let's just put this here. Okay, now let's start with the head. This scarf, hair, face background, and this. I want all these to be together as the head. Okay, let's move this and call this head. Okay. Okay. So the nose, if you want to rig the nose, for example, you should put it on a separate layer, but no. For this tutorial, I'm not planning to do that. So let's just put this nose together with the head, so it will just be together. Now, the eyes. Okay, that is a very good part to rig. So I would like to put this on a separate layer, so it will just be on a separate layer. Eyes. And you can still go ahead and separate these eyes into two parts, right eye, left eye, depending. It is what you want to do that is going to determine what you need to put in separate layers. So if I want to still rig this eye separately, then I have to go ahead and split it into right eye and left eye. But for this tutorial, let's just leave it as in one layer's eye. So that means if I need it to blink together, I'll just work on the two eye the same time to just go off and go on. at this. It's just depending on the style I want to use to do the blink. But just, you understand what I'm trying to say, like it's one, so that means if it's blinking together. I can't be more I can't go extra mile dramatizing with it, like making one eye, because it's actually fun when you can separate, when you separate into multiple layers. You can be very dramatic. Maybe you're just trying to create a particular facial expression of, maybe the character is blinking just one eye and opening the other one. So depending, just make sure anything you want to rig is on a separate layer. Okay, so now the brows, for example, I would like it to be on a separate layer. Maybe when the character is, when you know that kind of funny face expression, the one of the eyebrow is up while the other one is down. So if I want to achieve that, it's important I put the brow. So it depends. There is no this perfect way, that and this one way of how to prepare your character for rigging. You are the one that will determine what you want, which part of the character body you want to move. So when you know that, you know the parts you need to put in separate, and the parts you need to put in separate layer. So this brows, I want it on a separate layer. So this is the left brow. Also this right brow. Okay, here, right forearm. I want this on a separate layer. Left forearm. Scarf, I would like this scarf to be on a separate layer because it will be fun to give it that kind of wiggle effect, or that little movements right and left. So let this scarf be on a separate layer. So okay. So we have the right hand. Need to create more layers. So here, right hand. Left hand. Okay, I don't need this. I don't need this. This as well. This as well. This as well. So the lip, okay, this and all this are part of the lip. I want it on a separate layer. Lip. I want this to be part of the body. I want to attach this to the body parts. So here we have the body. Here we have the body. I want this to be with the body. Okay, and here we have the upper part of we have the arm, right arm. If you don't separate this arm into two parts, that means you just have just one, and when you have just one, you may not be able to rig the character in a in a more nice way. So it's actually better, I prefer separating it into two parts, the forearm and the arm. So with that, I can actually rig it to give it a more realistic feel. So right arm, left, okay, one left arm. Okay, I also want the neck to be on a separate layer. So left to the neck, let's name this neck. Okay, so let's rearrange everything back. Body. Okay, the neck needs to go below the body, showing somehow. This hand needs to go backward. Actually, even this rearrangement, you can also do it in After Effects. But let me just do it here. Okay, this has to come behind. Okay, this hand needs to come behind as well, because I can see some little parts showing this way. So let's place this behind. So now, okay, the hand needs to be behind the forehands. So yes, so that's how you prepare your character for rigging. So now the parts I want to rig in After Effects are all on a separate layer. So that means when I bring this to After Effects, I can rig these layers individually. So thank you for joining this tutorial. So this is how you prepare your character for rigging in After Effects. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial.